Hello, welcome to the Book Coven. My name's Chelsea, and today I wanted to do a quick review for The Invention of Sound by Chuck Palahniuk. So if you know Chuck Palahniuk works, you know how messed up they can be and how gory they can be and how shitty all the main characters usually are. And this book was no different. There's lots of gore, which is really fun. The whole premise of this book is pretty cool. And I don't know if a lot of people have picked it up. I haven't really been seeing many people talking about it, and I'm kind of surprised. It's about a guy who lost his daughter. She went missing, and he's been looking for her for decades, thinking that she was abducted by sex traffickers or something. And he's been searching for her in kind of weird ways and very obsessive ways. And the other main character of the story is a woman who works in Foley, and she's just trying to find like the best scream. And it's how she goes about doing this that's this big secret. You don't think these two stories mingle together, but they end up meshing at the end really well, and it ends up making sense, which is great because for the whole thing I couldn't figure out why these two completely different people with completely different obsessions I didn't know how they were going to mix, but it did. It worked, and it was cool. Main character Gates Foster is kind of an asshole, as to be expected, and he's obsessive. He gets in with some kind of shitty crowds, shitty people. He doesn't really have a support system at all. His wife left him after their whole daughter debacle, and yeah, he's just kind of had a shitty existence up until this point and through this point. And the other main character, Mitzi Ives, she's the Foley artist. She also kind of had a shitty existence, and she's just making it worse for herself, like completely. So all the bad things that end up happening to them, you don't necessarily feel bad for them because they've brought it on themselves. So it's fine. The book has a lot of the gore, but not like, I wasn't shocked by anything necessarily. I'm shocked by what she's doing as a Foley artist, because this book goes a lot in depth on Foley and how so many sounds are faked, and like the use of the watermelon for a head exploding or celery breaking for bones breaking. So that's pretty cool. And it's neat to see this artist who's like very prolific selling her stuff, and how she's basically just murdering people to get those sounds. And that's why people pay her so much for the screams that she ends up recording, because they're real. And that part of the book is a lot of fun. That whole adventure is like really cool. The Gates Foster stuff with his daughter, also interesting, less interesting. But once it comes together in the end, it ends up making it really cool. The ending was pretty poetic, and I did like it. It wrapped up pretty quickly. The pacing of the book was good overall. And yeah, it's not his best book, but it's definitely a really good book. And it still makes you feel like shit when you're finished reading it. So it's definitely a Chuck Palahniuk book. And I think it's worth picking up and reading. I know I reviewed Lullaby recently, and I definitely like this a lot more than Lullaby. Lullaby was also good, but this one, I liked the whole Hollywood aspect of it, and there was some confusion with the storyline and the way it was going. You would be plopped into something and then learn how you got there later on. So that made it a little bit confusing, but it ended up being kind of a fun read because of it. Just there were too many parts where I thought that I had missed something, but it was just that it hadn't been explained yet. So that was okay. But yeah, I recommend it. I think it's worth the read, and it's good for Halloween, which is the main reason I picked it up right now. So yeah, thanks for watching, and follow us on Instagram at the.book.coven for 31 days of spooky book reviews, and have a happy Halloween.